Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I am your host, Jack Hammer. It is Monday. The 49ers with a big win yesterday over the Los Angeles Rams out at SoFi Stadium down in Inglewood. A really impressive performance by the 49ers. You know, there were some struggles offensively that kept them out of the end zone. A couple of throws by Brock Purdy didn't hit the mark, but you look at this game overall, the 49ers still went out and they put up 30 points for the, what's that now, 6 times in the 7 starts by Brock Purdy that the 49ers offense has been able to put up 30 points. So all in all, not a bad performance. We're going to break down Brock Purdy's performance against the Rams. We're going to look at some of the other things as well along that 49ers offensive line, and we're going to do it right now on the 49ers film review with Jack Hammer, analyzing Brock Purdy's performance on Sunday against the Rams. Let's go ahead. Let's bring the film in here, and we're going to roll through the game. Take us about an hour or so. So sit down, get ready. It should be a fun show. Right off the bat, coming out, running the ball. It was a good day running for Christian McCaffrey. That was one of the other things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, and we'll see some of Christian McCaffrey's runs in this game. McCaffrey right now, over the course of the first 2 weeks of the season, has 3 carries of 15-plus yards. That is the most of any running back in the NFL as of right now. So, he has the 2 of those actually going over 50, 51 yesterday, 65 and a touchdown the week before. So really strong performances by Christian McCaffrey here to start the season off. Actually, Christian McCaffrey's total yard totals from the first 2 weeks, the second most of any 49ers running back. Only trailing Garrison Hurst, who had 325 in the first 2 weeks of the 1998 season. So let's get rolling. This is the second play, the first throw of the day for Brock Purdy. Just a little out route to George Kittle. This isn't the best of balls. A little bit behind him. You know, you get that throw out in front of Kittle where he can catch it and run, and you're able to get some rack up the sideline. Instead, that ball's behind him. A really nice reception by Kittle to have to spin around and make the grab. You know, Purdy, for the most part, was really on schedule in this game. We're going to go through, as we go through it, I mentioned at the opening, there was some misses, and Purdy was asked about the misses in the post-game presser, the deep misses that he had. But you look through this performance with Brock Purdy, a higher completion percentage than the week before, a higher average depth of target than the week before, so higher average depth of target, higher completion percentage, both of them, like I said, higher than the week before. So those are good numbers, I think, when you look at it with Brock Purdy in terms of his performance. I think we're at that point with him where we've become so accustomed to watching him hit throw after throw that we see him miss a couple wide open shots down the field, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, because not only, again, I mentioned the higher completion percentage, I mentioned the higher average depth of target, but also how Brock Purdy had a higher yards per attempt in this game, 8.2 yards per attempt in this game compared to, I think, 7.9 out in Pittsburgh. So, all the numbers are better. The fact that we're talking about Brock Purdy and the plays that he missed, those deep throws, just shows you how good this guy has been to this point. And the difference really between those misses and if he hits those misses instead of missing them, like we said, the difference is the score is 41 instead of 30. Right. That's really what we're looking at right there, or maybe 48, depending on which miss you're talking about. So, again, they won by 10. I understand that the Rams kicked the field goal at the end to make it 30-20 and mess with the bettors a little bit. But in reality, they won by 10, even 7. This game was over at the time when that field goal was kicked to pull within 7. Again, the 49ers offense, clearly better than their opponent. So a strong game there. I want to shout out a few folks over in the comment section. We have Bobby Myra says, Jack, start the film. Yeah, so there we go. The Notorious Gav in the house says, haha, Raph, you legend. He mentioned this one to me the other day. He told me he was going to call me this. Let me see if I can find it. He had it over here in the comment section. And he says, Jack Hammer is the Gaffa of Niners content creation I think in Gaelic or Welsh language, that means he's the coach. So let's get rolling. Let's get into it. Like we said, we just went through the first one, the throw to open up from Purdy to George Kittle, a little bit behind him, not right on the mark. Left a little bit of meat on the bone with that one. But we come back. It's now 1st and 10 from the 38. 49ers again in 21 personnel. That means there's 2 running backs and 1 tight end. Again, we talked about this. If you watched my show from Saturday on Brock Purdy with his ability, things that make him so special. This is an example of it right here. We talked about the mobility. Look at the mobility here. You get a little bit of pressure coming up the middle and to the right. He just slides out and on the move hits Christian McCaffrey for a little gain of 9. So not a bad one right here. So you're going to see the pressure 95 and 99. 95 going to go a little bit more to the outside. 99 comes around. Good job by the 49ers offensive line of picking that up, and Purdy moves and gets the ball to McCaffrey for a gain of 9. So that's going to set him up with 2nd and 1. Just a nice, easy play right here that he makes look easy. Not an easy play in that, he's got the pressure. Big guys chasing him, but he's able to get out quickly and make that completion for a nice gain here of 9, set up a nice, easy 2nd and 1. We'll just let it roll here for a second, and you're going to see him pick that up. Randy Milliken says that I'm on time today. I was actually supposed to go at 3, so I had some people in here waiting for me at 3 o'clock. I ended up postponing just a little bit to do a recap of injuries. So a little bit late, but we're here. We're rolling. A little run here by Christian McCaffrey picks up the 1st down for the 49ers. This is on their opening drive. The Niners started off really strong in this game. Now we're looking at 2nd and 9, and this is again, we talked about all the things that make Brock Purdy so special when it comes to his ability at quarterback, even though he has some things that he's missing. We're going to come back to a run here. I'm sorry, I'm off by 1. This is a 1st and 10 play after that run. I want to highlight this one here really quick, because I think that he misses the hole a little bit, does McCaffrey. This is a stretch play. He's got to cut this thing up right into that hole. I know that the linebacker's there, and I think that's why he keeps trying to push the hole out to the tight ends, because that's really where they want to get this thing. But if you look at that hole up inside, he's got a linebacker, and if he cuts that up, he's got the linebacker in his way, but he's going to have to work one-on-one against that linebacker to get through there. I think he'd be okay, and I think he'd pick up a little bit more yardage than he does by sticking with the play. But I just wanted to go over this one much. We'll see it again from this angle. I feel in watching it, I know the run's designed to go outside. He's supposed to follow those, supposed to get between the tight ends and McKivitz there. It's congested. If he cuts that up, he's a one-on-one in the hole with the linebacker, and I would take Christian McCaffrey in that position over the linebacker all the time. Now, the second pass of the game for Purdy is going to throw this little out up here to Brandon Ayuk, and this is the play in which Ayuk gets injured, is right here. Ayuk dealt with a shoulder injury throughout this game, but you can see on this one, as you watch it from this angle, you can see him catch the ball, and as they're taking him to the ground, they land right on top of him. So they're driving that shoulder into the ground as he's going down. He got up after this, went to the sidelines. You could see him holding kind of gingerly with that arm that it was bothering him. But this guy went out, missed a couple of plays, came right back, and he missed some plays throughout the day. But for the most part, he was out there and just showing how strong he is. He's on the 49ers injury report for the game against the Giants here coming up on Thursday night, but he's expected to be ready to play. I want to just show this one more time from this angle, because we're going to look at when Purdy starts to throw this ball. Look how the timing is here. Ayuk hasn't even gotten into his break. He's still working the top of his route, and that ball comes out early. So as soon as he turns around, the ball's right on him. It's just beautiful timing again from Brock Purdy, a guy that's got enough arm to make every throw in the 49ers offense. Doesn't have the big, strong arm, but he's got plenty of arm. This is a discussion that's going to go away here pretty soon, I think, or it should. But just a nice ball, nice timing on that throw from Purdy to Ayuk. And again, that's the play in which he injured his shoulder. Kyle Shanahan talking to us today, verifying that it was that play in which the injury occurred for Brandon Ayuk. So little first down throw there on 2nd and 9. Now you get first and 10. McCaffrey up the middle for 2. One other thing I want to point out as we watch this film, keep an eye on where 99 is. He lines up quite a bit on both sides, but he really works a lot against Colton McKivitz on that side, working 23 snaps on the day for Aaron Donald over Colton McKivitz. He rarely lined up over Spencer Burford. It was either over Colton McKivitz or over Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks absolutely dominated Aaron Donald in this game. Just did a fantastic job. Colton McKivitz did a pretty good job as well. He did allow one quarterback hit and one pressure, but a much better performance than the week before. So there's that little run there. And now we're going to see the first, what's a 49er Ram game without some screens to the outside? 49ers do this a lot on a very consistent basis against the Rams in these contests with LA because of the speed with which they rush the passer. Also with the usually they have 5 guys along the line of scrimmage. They have numbers advantage to the edge, so they like to kind of use their screen game as a extension of their run game, especially in these games against the Rams. On this one, just not able to get the lineman out there quick enough. The blocking doesn't work great on this one, so it's only a gain of 1. But they're going to come right back to that in just a second. So you get that little one. Now you got 3rd and 7, and this is just again a really nice play by Brock Purdy. He's getting hit as he throws, but he does a nice job of hanging in the pocket. Let's watch it again. He does a really nice job of hanging in the pocket. He's looking down the field. He knows that he's going to have Ayuk open. He just needs to let him get off the break, and he puts it right on him. And a really nice grab by Ayuk goes down with the injury here. But again, watch it from this angle. You're going to have Donald coming off of the edge on McKivitz to get a little bit of help, and that little bit of help from Juwan Jennings is everything that McKivitz needs to be able to win the route or win the snap, at least enough for Brock Purdy to be able to get the ball off. Now, imagine if they had a little bit of help from the tight end with that tackle in that NFC Championship game last year, how different that game might have been. See, he's holding on to the ball because he's waiting for Ayuk to break free at the top of his route because he'd gotten tied up, remember? So he's got to hold on to this thing for a little bit longer than he wants to. And you can see him kind of, starting to move his feet, and then he lets it go. And it's just a shot. Really nice play from Brock Purdy right here. And then they come back from that, and they're going to run a little screen out here to the right side to Deebo Samuel. Do it out of a little bit different formation, this time motion him across. They're going to get George Kittle to help block instead of Ronnie Bell like they did the time before. So just a different formation. You get some faster guys over there to help get out in front and block this thing up. Instead of having McKivitz be your first guy over, you have George Kittle. That's a much better plan because he's faster anyway. And then let McKivitz get up to the second level guy instead. 49ers pick up 8 on that one. That sets him up second and 2, down at the 14. You're going to see again. You can see look at Kittle the whole time. He's looking out to the right side, trying to figure out who he's going to block or making sure he knows where he's going. So nice stuff. Now they got 2nd and 8 at the 14. 49ers in 11 personnel. That was one of the things that I noticed in this game was the amount of 11 personnel they used was a lot more than they normally do. And this one is going to be a little inside zone to the right side. Solid at the point of attack. You get a little block downfield by Ronnie Bell. Doesn't really make a block as much as just kind of gets in the way at the end of this play. But watch this one from this angle. What you're going to see is they're going to get watch Aaron Donald and Spencer Burford right there. And then you also have right next to Burford, you have Jake Brendel. Brendel's going to work quickly up to that linebacker through 95, not really even blocking him, but he's kind of moving him out of the way just with his motion, getting upfield. You see 95, and now you got Aaron Banks comes across. He picks up 95. Brendel up to the linebacker. So you see those 3 guys at the point of attack are blocked. Really nice. Now you get the cut right off of that. Again, tight to the hole, which he does. And then at the top of this, watch, you see there comes Ronnie Bell out of the screen across, and he gets just enough to kind of get 2 out of the way. So if he doesn't come across the way that he does, that the safety might have been able to make the tackle, but instead you get Bell flying across the field at the last second and just really pretty blocking up front. When it comes to for me, when I watch stuff like this and I see the blocking that's going on from the offensive line, the wide receivers all the way across the board, it's just so pretty on these runs. Really nice stuff. And we're going to get to another one of those here in just a couple of minutes. But, the 49ers offense goes right down the field, gets into the end zone on their opening drive. And now they're going to come out in their second possession with a quick little run here. I'm going to fast forward through this little toss out to the left side. We'll get to the next play for Brock Purdy. So we're looking at 2nd and 7. 49ers come out in 11 personnel. Remember, they've already shown them a bunch of 11 in that first possession. They're going to come out and they're going to play action. And right over the middle to Deebo Samuel, and a nice play by the safety for the Rams to keep this from being a bigger one, bigger gain for San Francisco. But again, just quick, decisive, knows where he wants to go with the ball, hits him in stride on this one. We talked earlier, the miss a little bit behind George Kittle. That one, he hits him right in stride. Just good play by the safety for the Rams to be there and make the tackle. But quick, boom, it's open. Hits them, and a nice play, pick up the first down. The 49ers didn't find themselves in 3rd and long very much in this game. They were really able to move the ball pretty up and down the field pretty effectively. They their drive stalled on 3rd down eventually, but they weren't early in their possessions. They were able to really move the ball without it. And again, we talked about if there was an unsung hero in this game, I would say it's Ronnie Bell on the one play we just talked about. Watch on this one. You're bringing across Juwan Jennings. He doesn't really make a big block, but he just creates enough of a screen, and he kind of finishes off the springing of McCaffrey on this play. We'll see it from this angle here as well, I think. But just a really good job of sealing off the edge right here by Trent Williams. And then you got Juwan Jennings coming out and helping kick out the end and then get upfield to the next defender. Really nice play. He helps George Kittle kick out that end, gets upfield. Watch this right here. You're going to see Williams seal, look at Jennings help, and then get upfield. That's just really, really nice stuff by Juwan Jennings. A really nice job. Receivers, we always talk about their catching, what they're doing as receivers, catching the ball. With the 49ers, so much of what they do is predicated on receivers being able to block down the field. We talked about that last week on the big run for McCaffrey, how good the blocking was by Brandon Ayuk to spring him. And also we talked about, Ray McLeod getting down the field. If you watch this one again, this is a wide receiver helping spring it. Look, you get really nice job at the point of attack. They both, between Williams and Banks, they take the guy down. So he's out of the play. Now you're going to see Williams get up to that second level linebacker. Meanwhile, you have Kittle and a wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, help kicking out that end. And then Jennings comes off and gets up to the cornerback. And that's what really allows this to be a big play, because if Jennings doesn't get to that guy, that cornerback's probably going to trip up McCaffrey because he's going to be able to get into the hole. But by just getting in his way and getting that block, it springs it. Nice run up the field. Just really nice stuff across the board by the San Francisco 49ers on this one. Then they get down here in the red zone and they struggle a little bit. They try to run it a couple of times. They on 1st and 10, they just don't get it. They aren't able to get the edge. But I want to go to the next play on 2nd and 9, because the 49ers catch you probably might have seen this on the replay on the replay of the game. But man, the 49ers get lucky here because this snap goes right off of George Kittle. It doesn't get to Brock Purdy. It bounces off George Kittle as he's running across the formation, and the 49ers are luckier than heck that it goes right to Christian McCaffrey. Watch Kittle comes in motion, the snap hits him, boom, and just ricochets right to Christian McCaffrey. You're living right when you get that kind of a bounce in a football game. And we'll see it again here from this end angle. Just bounces right off him directly to McCaffrey. One of the things I'll say about the different stadiums that we go to is the Rams Stadium does not do a good job for their fans of showing replays. There's no replay TVs in the press box at SoFi, so we're stuck having to watch the replays on the big boards with the fans, and they don't do a good job of replaying the plays for you. At least I didn't notice it. Maybe Raphael had a different experience yesterday. But now facing 3rd and 6 at the 9. Good coverage down the field for the most part. He goes to the quick out to Ayuk. Ayuk's unable to hold on to it. I feel like this might be a miss here in watching this one. It looks to me like if he just sticks in just a second longer, he has George Kittle wide open. but he's already let go of the ball. He's got a pocket to work with. Maybe Kittle's a little late getting into his break too. I didn't really look there anyway. Gets it out quick to Ayuk. This was going to lead to about a 4th and 2 or a 4th and 3 if he had made this reception. It looked like the 49ers were going to go for it. They had kept the offense on the field. After they thought it was a completion, they kept them out there, and eventually the Rams went ahead and challenged the play, and the 49ers would have to settle for a field goal. He decided to work the right side there. Went to the guy that was open. I would have liked to have seen him maybe work to Kittle, but they come back on the next possession. So it was 10-7 at that point, or 10-3, excuse me. Now opening up this possession here from their own 25. They're going to get Kittle here. You get a little motion out and a quick slant right over the middle. Easy throw. Not easy throw. Got to take that out of my vocabulary when we're talking about this. But just a short pitch and catch. Good job by George Kittle of getting inside leverage. Puts it on the money, and it's a nice pickup of 12 yards to get this stuff started. Lee was asking if that was a pass play on the one that bounced off of McCaffrey. I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to go back and look at how the offensive linemen were reacting. So, again, tie score right here. So you get that nice little throw to start off with, and now you're going to get a big play on the run with Deebo Samuel. Fake the inside run, gets everything cut up. This would have been this is a bigger play if George Kittle just blocks. Gets up the field. George Kittle kind of gets out. It kind of gets caught here in no man's land. You can see him coming across. He's a lead, and you see him looking back, and him looking back, he misses the block. If he gets up the field, he's blocking the guy that makes the tackle right here. But instead, he kind of gets caught looking inside. I don't know why he's looking behind where the running back is. There's no reason to go there. Just get up the field and get to the next guy. Instead, he slows down, and because he slows down, that allows two to come up and make the tackle. That's the guy Kittle should have been blocking. Nice 17-yard gain, nonetheless, for San Francisco on this one. So you just get upfield. If he just gets up the field, he's got it. And look at all the block. Look at the receivers blocking their asses off down the field. If he just if George Kittle on this one again, if he just gets up the field here, because you're going to see right here, you can see it again. Watch Kittle get out there, and he just he's slowing down because he's looking to the side. He's almost looking behind. Get up the field, block that guy, because these other two guys are blocking their asses off. If two gets blocked, Deebo Samuel's probably up the sideline for maybe even a touchdown on that play. So that's a tough one right there. But again, a couple of nice plays to start this off. You get a 29 yards total, the little completion to Kittle, then a 17-yard end around. 2nd and 9, little run here with McCaffrey over the left guard. They only pick up a yard. And so let's get to this one. 2nd and 9 at the 45. This is one of those big plays everybody's talking about. You're going to get Brandon Ayuk's going to run a little quick double move in and go. Boom, and that's just a really nice route. He gets that guy beat, and he's open. You know, a couple of things on this one. You know, you would like that once Ayuk makes this break and gets going up the field, you would like him to just put his head down and start running right here at the beginning. But he's looking back, and looking back is slowing him down a little bit. So that's part of it. But also, you know, this is the ball that you got to get a little bit more air under it. You can't really put too much because you've got the safety coming over the top. But right here when he makes it, put your head down and go. Don't be looking back. You got to get going. So it's either he's expecting that ball to come out earlier than it does. Not really sure exactly what's going on, but he needs to get going a little bit faster to himself. So it's a little bit on Purdy, and I think it's a little bit on Ayuk with his. He does a really nice job winning the route, but then he's looking back the entire time, and you're not going to run as fast looking over your shoulder as when you're looking forward. I think it would have helped him take a couple of steps. If he'd taken a couple of steps with his head down upfield before looking back, I think it would have worked out better. But again, Purdy's got to put this one on the money. This is a big play. I don't know if it's going to quite be a touchdown because Ford has a good angle there to maybe make a tackle, but that would have been a big play, especially considering what comes up next here on 3rd and 9. This is the only sack of the day for the Rams. It's going to be number 91. It's going to go right up the middle, quick, and then Purdy's starting to have to move, and then you get to the sack. by 0. But it all comes. I believe it's number 91 up the middle. You're going to see him. He's in line to the right side of the center here, but he's going to loop around and get right up inside up the middle here. One step, go, rip, right in his face. Nice job by 0, and I think that's 97 as well to get the sack. Purdy had a little check down right there with Christian McCaffrey. That was going to be a tough one, though, with the pressure that was all around him to be able to get that ball out of his hands. Yeah, and I agree with you on this one, Gav. He says that Debo put on a show with Ayuk Kurt this week. Need to see more of this grit. Yeah, that's the thing. These guys, they go back and forth, right? Debo and Ayuk, I think Ayuk is definitely a heck of a player. I think people forget how good Debo Samuel is for the 49ers as well. Samuel with 101 total offensive yards in this game. That makes it 5 in a row, I believe, where he's had 101 offensive yards, over 100 offensive yards, total for Debo Samuel against the Rams. So there's the sack. We're going to come out after that. Now this is a really not. We're going to just roll through this possession. This is end of the first half. The 49ers offense, one of the things that we've heard throughout the offseason when it comes to Brock Purdy and the lack of the deep ball is how are the 49ers going to be able to, when you've got to score and you've got to score quickly, how are they going to be able to do that with a quarterback that can't get the ball down the field? So here you're in a 1:45 situation, no timeouts. You're backed up at your own 25. So you've got to go 75 yards to score a touchdown if you're going to tie the game. Probably a good 30 or 40 if you're going to kick a field goal. They want to score a touchdown here. They're going to open up with this is an easy throw, just a little screen. There's no reading that's involved. Fake the run, get the ball out to Debo Samuel. And again, look at Juwan Jennings springing Debo Samuel for another 10 yards on this play. Watch Juwan Jennings comes across in motion. He doesn't really make much of a block, but he just gets in the way again. And that allows another 10 yards for Debo Samuel. So instead of a gain of about 10 or 13, you get 22, 23 to open this up. Easy play for the quarterback. Get the ball out to your playmakers. You get good blocking out on the edge. This is an extension of your run game. This is basically just an extended sweep that you're using a toss to get a throw to get the ball out there. You see this a lot with like the wing tee and stuff like that in high school and some college teams still run it. But nice little start off there, and then they come right back. They're going to do another little screen this time to it's kind of the same play, but same type of a play, except for they're blocking this one. They have everybody coming in, draw the defense inside, get your back coming around the edge. Again, this is just an extension of the run game. It's like they're running sweeps right here, getting out on the edge quickly, outnumbering the defense. So you get a 23-yard gain and a 9-yard gain. Bang, bang. This time they get out of bounds to stop the clock as well. Remember now, this started their own 25. They had no timeouts to start this. Just a couple yards short of the first down. So Kyle Shanahan decides that he wants to run it, and so they're gonna. They were really good in these short yardage runs. They had a couple of big runs early on, and then the run game slowed down for them in terms of being able to get chunks. But still, another nice little 2nd and 2, and you get 3, so it's a first down. Clock ticking. They're an 11 personnel this whole way. Just a nice job, staying inside, staying close to the blockers. Doesn't get off, wander too far outside, and they're able to pick up the first down. Clock's going to keep moving. But you see that, boom, right up the field, 3 yards, first down. Clock running under 45 seconds now. This ball right here, again, we talked about Purdy with the throw and, beating the defense by getting the ball out of his hands quickly. This thing right here, this is just this play right here. This is a really nice ball. One of the best balls that you're going to see. The pressure coming. Purdy kind of just slides to his left. Look at the timing where he's throwing this ball. This ball's coming. Yeah, the ball ends up being behind Juwan Jennings. But yeah, part of the reason it's behind Juwan Jennings is because if we go back to this other view of it, He's throwing the ball right now. Look where Jennings is. Jennings is still running up the field. He's at the 29-yard line. He's going to catch this at the 36. He throws this ball so early. The other thing about it, too, is, again, that you got the linebacker coming through unblocked. Purdy just slides to the left. Just that little slide to the left just buys enough time for him to get the ball out of his hand over the top of that linebacker. This is one of the best throws that you're going to see in the NFL this week. And there's so much about it. It's not a big, deep throw, but again, they'll slide, move, throw. And it's just, that's a really nice, it's not like I said, it's not out in front of them, but that's okay when you consider when that ball came out of Brock Purdy's hand. It's almost undefensible because they've got the blitzer there. This is a downfield route that shouldn't be able to be made, and he slides to his left and hits it. Really positive stuff. So now they get it here, and I think this is really a throwaway. Because the way that he throws this ball, I think they're just trying to stop the clock when they were kind of in between and getting this thing run, and he looks over there to Ayuk. Ayuk's running up the field, and he just fires it into the ground. Even if Ayuk was running a route over there, that thing's not going to be a completion. So he just I think this is a throwaway. I don't know if it gets, if it was marked down as a throwaway by Pro Football Focus or whatever. But again, they stop the clock, 17 seconds to go. And now you're going to take a shot into the end zone. And again, this is a ball that I thought originally that I felt was late. I talked about last night on the post-game show where I said I felt like it was a little bit late, but in reality, I was wrong. This ball comes out early. It's a dime. It's going to be a touchdown. The only thing that stops it is the pass interference. Again, pressure slides back, and this ball comes out early, and this thing's going to be right in the breadbasket for Deebo Samuel if the defensive back doesn't run into him. But again, as we watch it from here, watch him just keep buying a little bit of time, gets it out of his hand, and that thing's right on the money. That would have been a touchdown. Again, that's a good throw. He has the two other ones that are misses, but this is a really nice one. Again, watch him just continue to slide his feet back as he's getting pressure right up in his face, and he's going to drop that ball's dropping right into Deebo Samuel. If number one doesn't take him out, it's a touchdown. So all the Rams did right here with that person with the pass interference is delay the inevitable. But again, pressure right up the middle. Spencer Burford gets beat. That ball comes out, and that thing's going right to him. Just a really nice play by Brock Purdy, getting it out of his hand quickly. And now you've got 1st and goal down at the 1. They don't really have much time, so they got to be quick here. They're trying to get out here to the left. Good coverage. They're going to have to work back to Kittle. There's 4 guys covering him. He throws it out of bounds, throwing it away. But you get a face mask call on the guy covering Brandon Ayuk grabs his face mask. But again, they're trying to hit the early stuff is covered, the deeper route into the back of the end zone with Kittle covered. So it's a throwaway. And it ends up as a pass interference to get the ball on the 1. Taylor Broussard says, if that pass was caught, I think it changes the narrative around Purdy's play yesterday. Yeah, I think there's all the narrative around Brock Purdy's play from yesterday's game is all centered around really 3 plays. The Ayuk miss that we talked about already. There's a miss that we're going to see in a few minutes to Jawan Jennings, and then the miss to Deebo Samuel. That's the narrative, and again, and that's fine. Those are plays that you've got to hit, especially when they're as wide open as they were. But again, you look at it, you got to hit those throws. The 49ers still scored 30 points. Brock Purdy's still completed over 68% of his passes, even with a couple of throwaways like we just saw right there. And we're going to see again here in a second. 8.2 yards per attempt, more than they had in week 1. They went downfield more often. And here you see a 75-yard drive in 1 minute and 45 seconds without a timeout. So, like Young says, he says that those misses made the game too close when they were thrown. No, and I understand, and that's part of it too, because the game could have been over sooner, right? The 49ers could have gotten into more of a run-heavy look earlier on and just kind of killed the clock and gotten out of there. I understand. There's that part of it too. I agree. You have misses, and those were bad misses. because they're wide open throws that were just missed. But still, in the grand scheme of things, to come away from this game and think that Brock Purdy's performance was a worse than it was the week before, I think is inaccurate. I don't think his performance was any worse in this game than it was in Pittsburgh. Obviously, there was a couple of scoring opportunities that were missed. It's got to get better moving forward, and that's all. If you want to say that there were misses, he's got to you got to make those throws, especially in a big game. They've got to be hit as the season goes along. Against the Cowboys, against the Eagles, when those are open, he's got to hit them. I'm not going to argue with you. I think that those are all valid points, but I don't feel like it took away from his performance and that it made this any less of a performance really than what we saw the week before in Pittsburgh. Again, and this one, I think here's another throwaway, right? He's looking quick to the right side. They're trying to get the ball to Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. It's taken away, so he slides really quick to his right, gets the ball to his hands. Now they have the ball first. What is it? Second down, I think. Second and goal, inside the 1. Again, they're trying to hit it quick, and it's not there. He takes a step and throws it out of bounds. Stop the clock with a second left. Instead of kicking the field goal to go in 17-13, Kyle Shanahan decides to go for it, and Brock Purdy is going to use his quads and get in there behind the offensive line and sneak that thing through for a gain of about 3 yards that deep into the end zone. And the 49ers go in at the half, tied 17-17. That was a big drive, especially when considering it was 75 yards with no timeouts. You go for it here on second down with no timeout. So if you don't, it doesn't matter anyway if there's a timeout or not. There's 1 second to go. This was the last play. You're either getting in or you're going in at the half down. They get it in, and it's 17-17. So a really nice way to end off the first half for Brock Purdy for the 49ers offense. Now, we're going to open up the second half. I'm going to fast forward through. Well, they open it up here with a fumble snap. Don't know what this play was going to be. That one just looks all messed up because it looks like the ball was snapped when it wasn't supposed to be snapped. Because watch, Jake Brendel goes and none of the other offensive linemen go. Jake Brendel and Spencer Burford, the right side moves, the left side didn't. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10. They try to run a little toss out to the right side. They only pick up 3. There's an illegal formation penalty because Deebo Samuel was on the line of scrimmage. The Rams decide to decline the penalty. So instead of giving the 49ers second and 15, they go ahead and choose to put the 49ers in a 3rd and 7 situation here. Give them 3rd and long, see if they can pick it up. 3rd and 7, let me get to it. Again, 11 personnel on the field. And this is, he's got it. He's got it open to Juwan Jennings. The ball's just high, overthrown. This is a tougher throw in watching it on film than I thought it was watching it live. And the reason it is because of that underneath the fender, underneath the route that's at the 31-yard line on the hash mark right there. So he's got to get this ball up and over him and into Juwan Jennings. So it makes it a little bit harder to throw it on a rope, to throw it on a line. I think that he still could have gotten more on this. The ball didn't have to be quite as high as it was. I think that's where this miss comes from, and this ball just sails on him a little bit. When we watch this one from the end zone, you'll see some pressure right up in his face here. And I think that's partly also why it goes high, because he's just, a little bit undersized and he's got 0 right in front of him. Just not able to put the ball right where he needs to. Got to get that ball down, got to get that ball in a little bit more of a line. It's hard to get it up and over, but I think there was a space there. The other thing too is, if you've watched the 49ers quarterbacks over the last few years, they don't really throw this pass, most of them. This ball down the field with that underneath the fender kind of sitting there, but making this a little bit of a tougher throw with that. I don't even know if this ball would have come out. Purdy takes the shot, misses it, and it was a bad miss, especially watching this one live yesterday in the stadium. I really felt like that should have been a completion. He had it, just needed to get a little bit lower, needed to drive it to him a little bit more on that one. So that's the first possession of the second half. Now they're going to come out here. And this is a wide open throw. Watch the underneath coverage and the effect that Christian McCaffrey has on this. Both those underneath defenders, the inside linebacker and the flat defender that was already out there, they both jumped the out route. They both jumped the out route wide open over the middle to Brandon Ayuk. This is just an easy. Just an easy throw in terms of how open it is, right? You get they both jump that flat route from McCaffrey, because McCaffrey, you'll see him go in motion here. He takes that inside linebacker with him. You got the other guy blitzing him, and they don't get home. It's a wide open throw over the middle for Brandon Ayuk. So much of the talk of this, we'll get to it in a second as we get to the next running play, but just another one of those throws into that intermediate area right there for Purdy. Now they're going to get play action, and watch the play action on that toss move. They've been tossing the ball, toss. Now they decide that they're going to come off of it. They've been running the toss. They've had success with the toss. Now you come back with the toss fake, but you get a boot out to the side, out to the left side. There's nobody there. He's able to get out of the pocket, and easy throw. Gets it right there to George Kittle. Kittle just can't break the tackle, but a nice 12-yard play to open up this drive. What I was going to say is, because they're going to get into a running play right after this, but again, is Brock Purdy. One of the things that he did last year that was so good was throwing into that intermediate area of the field. He completed 80.4% of his passes that were targeted 10 to 19 yards past the line of scrimmage last year. That number is way above the best numbers that the NFL, that Pro Football Focus, has ever had since they started doing the charting back in 2003. So far this season, Brock Purdy is 13 of 14 in throws into that area, into that 10 to 19 yards. 13 of 14. Just put that into perspective a little bit for how good that is. In this game, he was 4 of 4 in that area, 9 of 10 last week. So really solid performance getting back into that area of the field. I know there were some questions around that, and then on top of that, when you look at his throws overall, right now, he's been just really good in terms of all of the throws that he's had in that 10 to 10 plus area, right? So getting down the field, getting into that second and third level. If you look at Brock Purdy, yesterday he was 5 of 8 on throws 10 plus yards down the field. The week before that, he was 10 of 12 on throws of 10 plus. So not quite as good as he was the week before, but still not as bad. And yeah, he had those 3 misses that we're talking about here. 3 misses that you've got to make up. They come out here with a little screen to the left side. Again, they're trying to get out there. Aaron Banks isn't able to get out quick enough to help out. Watch Trent Williams here, though. He's going to get out there. Watch him crush this defensive back. Banks not able to get over there quick enough, and the guy that he was supposed to get is one of the reasons that you make the stop here. And then as a result, you're going to get 3rd and 7. And stopped. So 3rd and 7 from the 39. Here's one of those big misses. This is the last of them. This is reminiscent of the Super Bowl with Emmanuel Sanders, right? Hits his back foot, a little bit of pressure. This one is just too flat. You got to get more air under this one. You got to get this one up a little bit more into the middle of the field. Allow him to run to the ball. You got to get this thing up in the air just a tad more. It's just a little too flat. See how you just see how flat it is right there. That thing's got to be on a perfect throw 45 yards down the field, or else it's going to be incomplete, like we see here. He just got to get more. The fact that he's able to overthrow this ball tells you that he has enough arm to put a little more air underneath it. Just put a little bit more air underneath it. Put this thing over to the hashes. He's a little bit too far to the left too. This ball should go right down the middle, right down the field, from where he is right now. This thing should be right down the hash. It's a little bit to the left and a little bit too flat. Get that thing up and over just a little bit. Let Deebo Samuel run to it, and you got a touchdown. That's one of the things, when you look back at some of the days of Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and Steve Young, those deep posts that they would hit, you could see Rice just running and just tracking the ball. That's because Montana and Young were able to get enough air underneath it to allow them to do that. In a situation like that, you just got to get the ball up and let your receiver go make a play. Too flat, and it cost the 49ers there, and they still score They still score, though. They have Jake Moody come on, and he hits a 57-yard field goal to give them the lead, 20-17. That 57-yard field goal by Jake Moody, the second longest field goal in 49ers history. Remember, David Akers had one of over 60 yards in season opener, I believe it was, against the Packers. I think that was 2013 out in Green Bay. So you get the 57-yarder. You've got the lead. You got the lead here. You're up 20-17 now. Start with a little run by Christian McCaffrey up the middle. This game, really, we're getting down to it in terms of offensive play by the 49ers. It really matters because they're up 20-7 right here. Taylor says, is this a footwork issue? Feel like the ball drifting left off the hash was more of an issue than loft on the ball? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's a footwork issue. I just think it's an issue that he just needs to get more air under it. So he just needs to, it's more with his launch point. Has to be a little bit further back to get that up in the air a little bit more. If he gets that ball up in the air, even with the bad throw in terms of to the left, even then, if there's more air under the ball, he's still going to be able to come back to it because he's going to be able to he's still running, right? Even though he's looking back like this and he's falling because of where the ball's coming, he's still moving. If that ball's up in the air, it's going to give him more time to get up down, underneath it. I just felt like it was just too low. He's got to get more loft on the ball. I don't think it's a footwork issue. So they open up the drive with a little run. And then they're going to come back here now on 2nd and 7 from the 29. This is another one of those where it's not a perfect throw. This is a ball that's off the mark a little bit. But again, it's also, I think, partly due to you've got some pressure. So he's getting it out and he's trying to hit it in the window. This one's a little bit later than the other ones. So just not the best. He couldn't hold on to it and throw to the other window either. Not the best of balls. There's been a couple of times in this game where Purdy has nice completions, but not able to get it to guys where they're able to make plays after the catch. Again, a little bit of pressure there from looks like Spencer Burford and Colton McKivitz, the guy that they're blocking. Let's just look at it one more time. Pay attention down here at the bottom of the screen to the offensive line. That's where you've got Burford and McKivitz. Oh, that's not the one. I went too far. Sorry. But here we are. You're just looking at, just pay attention to, let's watch McKivitz and Burford over here on the right side, and they're blocking. And that's just Burford getting beat, and then McKivitz having to come over and help him. But again, Purdy making a throw after an offensive lineman doesn't really do a really good job on that one. So not bad at all. They're able to get it. And then here, we've been talking about all the misses on the deep shots. Well, this is a big one right here. And it almost like, this is what the 49ers call leak, where it's play action. When you watch this play from above, you can see how Juwan Jennings is coming across off the snap. Watch Jennings. He's going to be coming across like he's blocking down for the run, and then he releases. This is a shot play that the 49ers run a lot, and it's not even open, right? He just gives his receiver a chance to make a play. Jennings does a really nice job at the top of his route to not overextend for the ball, and that keeps the defensive back from really being able to make a play on it. 49ers get a big play right here out of 30 yards. So, they open up this possession 16 to Debo, 31 here to Jennings. And it's funny because you watch this play from the top and watching it live in the stadium, I felt like this was going to be a touchdown could have been a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. Watch Ayuk down here at the bottom of the screen. He's going to be running it up. He's running a deep corner and he's open. He's got the guy beat for a touchdown. But again, this is one of those plays. It's more of a shot where it's designed that they want to go to Jennings. So you don't even see Purdy really go to him. He's just running his play action, sets up in the middle of the field, and then looks to Jennings, who just makes a really nice catch on the top of this. So it's, again, down the field. Yeah, he had some misses. Here's one of the hits, right? We talk all the time with this offense about, needing explosiveness from the quarterback position. Depending on what stat service you're looking at, explosive plays are either 15 or 20 yards. The 49ers are getting explosive plays in the passing game. They're not always necessarily a big down the field throw, but that's another explosive right there from Brock Purdy to Juwan Jennings. And so from here, now they're going to get into a little bit of they run off tackle here for a couple of yards. I like this one. Trench Williams. I like that one instead of Trench Williams. Now it's second and, what are we looking at? 2nd and 8. And they're just going to run this little, this is a little screen out to the right side, a little swing screen that they run. They almost could have, they could have almost, if they wanted to, made this one a running play instead of a throw. Just a little turn, get the ball out of your hands quick. Again, this is just another, it's a sweep, basically. This is a sweep, but with the quarterback throwing the ball. See this a lot in college football nowadays with just getting out to the edge very quickly. Makes it really hard on the defense. Also a good way to help protect your offensive line. You don't have, if you're struggling with protection, let's let all the guys on the outside block for a couple plays. A nice one to pick up 7. Burford received a poor PFF grade because you can see when you're watching this, he has some bad plays. You also got to remember when it comes to these PFF things, these are just regular folks that are doing it. And so in some ways, I don't really get into, I like PFF as a service. I'm not really big on PFF when it comes to their grades. If there was one person that graded everything, then I would say, okay, that's one way of doing it. But because, doing 16, 15, whatever games there is in a week, depending on how many buys and things like that one person can't do it and get it out as fast. So they have multiple people doing it. So it all just depends on who's watching it and grading it. And, maybe the 49ers right now have a guy that doesn't really care for Spencer Burford. And so he's getting graded a little bit harder than some other guys, So it just, it is what it is. I don't really get into that all that much. When it comes to the grades, I don't know why, but you can see when you're watching the film, he's definitely struggling in pass protection at times. And then, here's a little screen. This is just all Debo. This is just, his ability to one of the things throughout this game with Debo Samuel is you saw him when he got the ball, he was trying to stay in bounds, trying to fight after the catch. Again, this actually gets labeled as a lateral, so it's not a touchdown pass. It's a touchdown run for Debo. But just the effort by Samuel at the end of this play to get upfield and stay in bounds and work to the end zone, just a really good job by 19. Good stuff. And so there, the 49ers are up 27 to 20 at this point. Now they're just trying to run out the clock. backed up a little bit. You run this little screen that we saw earlier, get it to him again, and Samuel stays in bounds, picks up 8 yards. Nice gain to open up this possession. Then they're going to come out on the next play, running Samuel on the sweep to the left. Nothing's doing there though, so they end up with 3rd down. And this is just third and 2, and you're up by 7. You get a big. This is a big shot for a 1st down right here at 3rd and 3, and just a miss by Brock Purdy. He has Deebo Samuel open on this little slant, and he just throws this one way behind him, just way off the mark. That's just a bad throw by Brock Purdy. He's got him there, way behind. On that one, if we're talking about footwork earlier, let's go back and let's watch this one from that last view. I don't want to go that far. But he's stepping a little bit. You usually throw right where you're stepping, and he's going to step. And when he steps, he's throwing behind. That you can see him throw to where he's stepping, but that's way behind where Deebo is. Look at Samuel has to reach back with one hand and tips the ball. Just a bad throw by Purdy leads to having to punt. Yeah, Raphael says that Deebo shows up against the Rams. He does. He shows up against the Rams, like I mentioned. I think it's 5 games in a row now against the Rams where he's put up at least over 100 all-purpose yards, 101 yesterday. So this is right after the Matthew Stafford interception. You're down there now, and little toss out here to the right side, pick up 6 yards. Nice run by Christian McCaffrey. On 1st down. I want to go ahead. They're going to run it here they did get shut down. Nice play by the Rams. They only pick up a yard. And then this is the last throw of the day for Purdy. He drop him back. He gets some pressure, and because of the pressure, he's got to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and he throws it to the outside. I don't know if that's a choice route for Christian McCaffrey, or if it's a designed in cut on the kind of a Texas type of a route. The pressure's just right in his face, puts the ball into the open areas. I think that's, again, a little bit of more of a throwaway than anything else. 49ers are up by 7 right here. You're guaranteed a field goal to go up by 10. That puts the game away. That interception from Deommodore Lenoir sealed it in my mind. Yesterday watching the game, I said as much on the live stream. You get the field goal, you're up by 10. From here, the 49ers are running out the clock. But again, real quick before we go, I want to shout out Ramelia Sports Report says great stream, Jack. Big play game changers as was the pick of Rams off the Rams running back hands. Absolutely. The Rams were rolling at that point. The Niner defense was at Stafford's mercy, and the PI to finish the first half. Rams running back, defensive back Darian Kendrick. I really think Ramelia. I think the biggest change in this game wasn't so much the pick. What really changed, that was a big moment in the game. But really what happened is in the second half, the 49ers defense started doing a better job on 1st and 2nd down. All of a sudden, the Rams were in 3rd and 5 plus over and over again. So it was a 3rd down. I think it was 2nd and long was the first interception. The second interception right there was a third and longer, like 6 plus or something like that on the interception by Lenoir. And so, yeah, the interception by Isaiah Oliver was big. The interception by Lenoir, both of those big plays. I don't think they scored off of the Oliver interception, but again, all around, I thought it was a strong performance for the 49ers. Did a good job in this game. Going back, like I said, I know that after the performance, after this game, the discussions around Brock Purdy himself saying that he missed those deep throws, and he did, definitely did. And the fact that a guy can go out and complete 68% of his passes, have one of the highest average depth of target numbers in the league yesterday, have one of the highest average yards per attempt in the league, and all those things. And we're still looking at him as having a B- type of a performance, or, average, maybe slightly above average, but not above average, all those type of things. I think what that really shows is how good Brock Purdy has played up until this point, that we are looking at that performance from Brock Purdy as one that there was really much of a concern about. I understand saying that you're worried about the deep balls and the need to hit those deep shots. Because, I think when you play the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles, or at some point, maybe in the Super Bowl, I don't know, at some point you might need to hit that ball, and that might be the difference between winning and losing the game. It might be. I don't know. Because we've seen the 49ers get to NFC championship games and be very successful without hitting big over the top throws. Part of that's because of the playmakers they have. And if you want to make the argument to me that they need to do that to win the Super Bowl, I'll push back against it. But at the same time, I understand understand why you would look at this game and feel that way, because part of it is those throws from Brock Purdy are wide open, not only in terms of the guys he's throwing it to, but they're wide open, and it's really easy for everybody to see. Oh, he should have it should have hit him. He had it right there. Like, so I get it. And I also do think, like what Purdy said is accurate. Those are just bad throws. He's got to hit them. Despite missing them, 30 points for the 49ers yesterday. Again, the 6th time in 7 regular season starts for Brock Purdy that they've done that. No turnovers. That's the biggest thing, really, with this team that they have put together. So, again, solid performance. Short week this week. That's brutal for both teams, the 49ers and the Giants, both having to deal with this short week coming up. You look at it, from what I'm hearing, Ayuk would not have practiced today. The last thing that I heard, actually coming from somebody that I know that has some sources around the team, saying that Brandon Ayuk is actually at Stanford getting a CT scan, and that what they're doing is they're looking at the shoulder clavicle area. According to what I'm seeing, is the CT was questionable, but it looks more like a sprain than a break in that clavicle area. So it's going to be, more about his ability to deal with the pain and play through it. We saw him play through it yesterday, but I really think when you look at it overall, that's where we're going to be keeping a look at there. Again, today, no practice for the 49ers, but Brandon Ayuk up at Stanford getting a CT scan, and it looks like there was no break. However, it looks like it's a sprain that is going to be an issue in terms of pain tolerance. Nothing's broken, so he's going to be able to play. It's just a matter of if he can go. Short week, the New York Giants, they're going to be without one of their best players. No Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants. Barkley sprained his ankle late in the win yesterday over the Cardinals. He is out. So there's your quick come in here for the film review. You get a quick 49ers practice injury report update. Again, both teams, the 49ers and Giants, not practicing today. Tomorrow they'll have practice. There'll be a walkthrough on Wednesday, the game on Thursday night. The NFL caring about their players so much that the 49ers and the Giants are going to play just a few days after having really rough games on the road in week 2. Week 3, you get to only a couple days rest and we get it done. They like their players so much that the 49ers get to do Thursday night games twice this season, having to go up to Seattle and play a Thursday night game up there as well. But you know what? Take it for what it's worth. Again, Brock Purdy, despite the numbers, despite some of those misses, having a solid performance. He finished with a higher yards per attempt, 8.2. That's higher than he was last week at Pittsburgh. His completion percentage, 68%, higher than week 1 out in Pittsburgh. His average depth of target, 9.3, also higher than last week in Pittsburgh. Yet the feeling around this game is that things weren't quite as strong for Brock Purdy. Obviously, 3 big misses in this game. 49ers still score 30. They are now 2-0 in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. As I always like to say at the end of my shows, hey, take it for what it's worth. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you can do me a favor, please hit the like button. Once you do that, also subscribe to the channel. So if you're watching, you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And then last but not least, turn on your notifications so you don't want to miss any of the things that happen right here on Inside the 49ers. You don't want to miss any of the shows, the updates around the 49ers. As our good buddy Raphael 5629ers, a member of the Toolbox, always likes to say, Like and subscribe, everyone. Like, subscribe, get those notifications on so you don't miss the updates. There you go, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you all so much for tuning in.